in the last session, we had a discussion, just the basics of OOPS concept, right? Have you remembered? I hope you should have a bit clarity about, sir, what is a class, and then what is object, and then what is the reference variable, okay? Like these words, you people should aware clearly, right? So do you know, in Python, everything is an object. I covered multiple times, right? Have you remembered? In Python, everything is an object. Is an object. Okay. I have string object is there. Str type. Sir, assume S is equal to Durga. S is equal to Durga. Next, I want to print length, sir. Immediately I'm going to use length of yes, sir. Regarding it is, sir. Have you observed, right? Can I use the word? It is a predefined object. Durga, I mean, string is the predefined object. List object is there. List object is there. Like, sir, these objects, integer objects, like all these are predefined objects. Sir. The behavior, everything is already fixed, sir. But now my requirement is I want to create my own object. Are you getting? I want to create my own object. How I can able to do? Okay, like student object I want to create. Are you getting? Like customer object I want to create. Customer object I want to create. Employee object I have to create. Are you getting? Employee object I require to create, sir. So how you can able to do that? I want to create my own objects. I want to define my own what we call actions or activities and properties and so on. How you can able to do that, sir? Okay, for that, suppose student is there, student object is there, sir. Student object having some attributes, correct or not? Having some attributes, something like do you know, having some attributes, something like name of the student, roll number of the student, like so having some attributes are there. Next, and after that, student can perform some actions, he can able to read, he can able to write, regarding he can able to write, he can able to code, like do you know, he can able to perform certain action, sir. Where all these things which are required for the student, where I have to define, sir, where I have to define. So somewhere I require to define the student related attributes, student related actions, where we require to define, sir, inside. So some design must be required, some blueprint must be required. Regarding some blueprint must be required, or some plan must be required, or some design must be required. Regarding some design must be required. That thing is nothing but a class. Are you getting? For the student object, whatever properties are required, whatever actions a student can able to perform, where we have to define all these things, some model must be required. Are you getting? Some model must be required, sir. This is the model. Here, student, every student having these properties, every student can able to perform these actions. You require to define somewhere where that itself is nothing but class. Everyone can able to understand, right? Sir, what is a class? Class can define whatever attributes a student required, whatever actions a student can perform. All these activities should be documented somewhere. That the place itself is nothing but class. Are you getting right? So class can contain attributes, correct or not? Hey, can you please respond? Class can contain attributes, correct or not? Okay, these attributes also known as variables. Remember that, sir. Variables, attributes are otherwise properties are variables. Like similarly, class can contain some actions. What object can able to perform these actions can able to represent by using methods. Remember that, sir. These are things somewhere we can able to represent by using methods concept. Like just take a bit very special case. So what is the need going our own class, sir, to create our own objects? Okay, for our own object, which properties are required, which methods are required, I have to define somewhere that the place itself is nothing but class. So class can contain attributes, class can contain actions, class can contain variables and methods. Are you getting right? Sir, can you please guide what is class? What is a class? Class is a blueprint. Are you getting? Class is a blueprint for object. Remember, once a blueprint is ready, then I can able to create n number of objects for that class. Okay. So this is what is the blueprint or model or plan or design itself is by default considered a class, sir. Remember, first clarity you people should be aware. I'm ready to write within a minute just a small example class. What is the format or what is the structure of a class and so on. Up to this is clear? Any doubt? Please respond. Everyone can able to understand, right? Sir, what is a class? Class can contain whatever attributes are required for our objects, whatever methods are required, where we require to define in the class we have to define. Class acts as a blueprint for the object. Once a blueprint is ready, then you can able to create n number of objects, right? Okay. Now I have one small doubt, sir. What is my doubt is, everywhere I use the word function. I write that function, this function and so on. Even my names also F1, F2, like this I wrote several times in the last sessions. But suddenly I'm using the word method. Regarding suddenly I'm using the word method, sir. What is the difference between function and a method? Anyone can you please tell? Yes, if a function declared inside a class. Are you getting? If a function declared inside a class, that function is by default considered as a method. Remember that, sir. Okay. If a function declared inside a class, that function by default considered as method. So with respect to classes, it is recommended to use method terminology instead of function, because the reason is class object oriented programming. Are you getting? So here the popular word is nothing but method. But without a class and object, functional programming, there we can use the word that function, this function and so on. That's why so meaningful terminology. If I'm defining anything inside a class, better to consider that as a method, but not a function. After this is the clear? Ayo, clear? Everyone can able to understand, right? Okay, that's all. Because already I explained all these things in the last session only. Okay. Now my requirement is, what is the structure of a class, sir? I want to define a class. What is the structure of a class? Anyone, can you please tell what is the structure of class? I want to write a class, right? What I have to do? Which keyword I have to use? Which keyword I require to use? Class is the keyword. Are you getting? Which keyword we require to use? Class keyword we require to use. Next, sir, this class should contain some variables. Should contain some variables. Next, and after that should contain some methods. Remember, variables and methods should be there inside a class. So class. Next, if you want, you can provide some description about this class. Okay, like remember how you can able to define all these things with a small chota example I'm going to discuss, right? Sir, what is the structure? Just observe class. Just you require to use class name. Are you getting? Just you require to use some class name. It may be student, or otherwise it may be customer, or it may be employee. Like you can able to take, sir. Next, sir, within triple quotes, I'm taking something. Sir. This thing is by default considered as documentation string. Are you getting? This one is by default considered as documentation string. Remember that, sir. Okay. So this documentation string can provide description about our class. Are you getting? Oh, this class meant for student information, developed by Durga for Python demo class, like whatever description you want to provide about your class. Okay. Here we can able to take. Can you please guide? Is it mandatory or is it optional? Ayo, respond. Is it mandatory or is it optional? Sir, this one itself is optional. Remember, it's not mandatory, sir. So good programming practice. sir, to provide some documentation string for every class. Okay, good programming practice, but it's not mandatory, sir. Next, after that, we can take, there are some variables we can take. Okay, but how you can take the variables and so on, we will discuss, right? And we can take some methods. Variables you can take, and some methods we can able to take. Sir, how many types of variables are there, sir, which are allowed inside Python class? Have you remembered, right? Three types. Three types. What is the first one? Instance variables. Instance variable. Next, and after that, static variables, instance variable. Next, static variables, and the local variables. Remember this one? Inside Python class, how many types of variables are allowed? Three types of variables are allowed: instance variable, static variables, and the local variables, right? Very dangerous to understand these words. Remember, we are going to discuss. Don't, sir, the people who are coming from Java background, please keep Java a bit aside until entering into OOPS concept. Remember that, okay? So until entering into OOPS, at least middle, please keep Java a bit aside. Please, highly recommended. Next, how many types of methods are there inside Python? Remember that, sir. Sir, do you know we can take instance methods? Are you getting? We can take instance methods. We can take class methods also. Oh, we can have class methods also. We can have static methods also. Are you getting? Sir, what is the difference between class method and static method? Yes, there is something is there, sir. We can have instance methods, we can have class methods, and even we have static methods also. So remember that. Okay, sir, instance methods also known as non-static methods, or otherwise just the instance methods. So that's all. Class methods always talks about, sir, static variable. Static methods never talks about instance variables, never talks about static variable, just utility methods. So I told, please keep Java a bit aside. Don't compare with Java. Okay, like, so instance variables also known as non-static variable. Instance methods, sometimes we can use a non-static method, no, but recommended to use instance methods only, because non-static means some other category is also there, which is going to reflect the class level. That's why instance method, class method, static methods are there. Clear? Up to this, any explanation is required? Within the class, how many types of variables are allowed? Three categories. How many types of methods are allowed? Instance methods, class methods, and then static methods. Oi, respond. Clear? Any explanation is required? Okay, that's all. Now let me go for a small chota example. I want to talk about documentation string. Already we covered in the last session. Just a matter of 2 minutes. I won't spend much time. Don't worry, sir. Sir, I'm taking, sir, a class student I'm taking. Assume that, sir, I'm taking a class student. So how to declare a class? You know, class student. Within the class student, just I'm taking, this is student information or student properties and the actions. Okay, actions like this I'm taking. Next, and after that, just pass. Okay, just pass. I have to take, because I'm not interested to define any variable. I'm not interested to define any variables and methods. That's why ignore that. No problem at all, sir. Okay, just pass. Now I want to print this documentation string. Anyone, can you please tell how you can able to access documentation string? Respond, man. How you can able to access documentation string? Anyone, can you please guide? Yes, there is. Here, just a print of, what is the class name? Student. Student dot underscore doc underscore. Remember this one, sir? Underscore dot underscore. Just by using class name, Anil, just by using class name, you can able to access, no problem at all. Okay, just by using class name, you can able to access, no problem at all. Now have a look once about this terminology, right? Have a look once. This is student properties and actions. I can able to see or not? Yes. Okay, this is the way how you can able to access. Sir, I don't want this one. There is another way also. I want to help about this student. I want to help about this student. Then automatically help of student. Regarding just I'm calling help of student. Now observe that it is going to provide complete information about that student. So help on class student. Sir, this is student properties and actions. Clear for all, right? Now, sir, how to declare documentation string? What is the purpose of documentation string? If you want to access inside Python program, how you can able to access? Either by help of function or by student. There is one underscore doc underscore is there. Remember, okay? Sir, this is. Can you please tell documentation string is the mandatory or optional? Documentation string is the mandatory or optional? Documentation string is optional. Clear, right? So now my requirement, okay, well completed about documentation string, not required to keep much explanation about that. Good programming practice we have to use. Now let me talk about some meaningful functionality of the student. Something like I want to declare some variables. I want to declare some variables for the student. I want to perform some actions or perform some activities related to the student. How you can able to do that, sir? Okay, very simple. Just observe that. Yes, Arpita. By using object reference also, you can print a doc string, no problem at all. Sir, to print a doc string, these are the three possibilities. One option, help of, what is that, sir? Help of class name, you can specify. Next and after that, what is the second one? Sir, class name, by using class name, dot underscore doc second one. Sir, print of, okay, print of, what we can able to take, sir? Do you know object reference also? Have you remembered? In the last session, I covered object reference dot underscore doc underscore. Yes, in all these three ways, we can able to get no problem at all. That's all. So now some meaningful functionality I want to define related to the student, sir. Can you please guide what is the what meaningful things we can able to, sir? What property student can have? Name property student can have. Next, roll number student can have. Marks student can have. So anyway, if you want, you can add some more things, but let me restrict it to only these three things: name, roll number, and then marks. So just student can perform multiple activities, read, write, sleep, and so on, right? Now just I'm asking about only one activity. Oh, can you please talk about yourself? Are you getting? Oh, student, can you please talk about yourself? That's all. So how you can able to define? How you can able to define student class, sir, with these properties and with this method? Okay, very simple, sir. Very simple. DEF. Anyone can you please guide, sir? DEF. I want to define first method. I want to define first method, sir. Underscore init of underscore init of self. Sir, just to make sure within few minutes we are going to perform postmortem about these words. Don't worry about that. Underscore self. Okay, like this. Now self dot name is equal to Durga I'm taking. Self dot name is equal to Durga I'm taking, sir. So that is the student name. Self dot roll number is equal to 101. Next, self dot name we covered, roll number we covered. Next and after that, okay, marks is equal to some 90. Like this, I do. So you know, it is something like a function. Correct or not? It is something like a method. We can use the word method, sir. So this special method is called constructor. In the last session, I covered already constructor. Can you please observe? What is this one, sir? What is this one, sir? Underscore init underscore. If any method with this name, that special method is by default considered as constructor. Remember, sir, constructor first argument should be self. Remember that, sir. For the constructor, first argument should be self. After that, you can take multiple arguments, no problem at all. The first argument related to the constructor should be self. Of course, instead of self, can I use any other word? No problem at all. Sorry. No problem at all. But instead of that, highly recommended, good programming practice, better to use self. That's all. So now, because of this constructor function, constructor method, what activities we did, sir? So related to student, I define three properties. I define three instance variable: name, roll number, marks. Everyone can able to understand how many variables I define, sir? How many instance variables I define, sir? Three variables. Three variables we define. Sir, suppose if you the three variables we define, sir. Okay. Like now, what I want to take another method. There, just I'm talking. Hey, can you please talk about yourself? Can you please talk about yourself? Yourself like this. Sir, do you know here what is the difference between this method and this method? Anyone, can you please tell? Are you seeing any difference between this method and this method? Yes, this method is some special method. Special method. The name is something like special underscore underscore. Sir, init underscore underscore. It is the predefined method name. This method itself is the constructor. But this one is nothing but no special. Our own, sir. Our own method. Our own method also is it's my own instance method. My own instance method, right? Okay, my own instance method. Now, sir, our instance method, first argument should be self. Constructor, first argument should be self. Sir, other than self, can I take any extra arguments or not? Yes, you can take any number, right? Can you please talk about yourself? Now this person is telling, print hello, my name is, hello, my name is, sir. Have you observed, right? Self dot name. Hello, my name is self dot name. Next and after that, print of, sir, my roll number. My roll number is self dot roll number, like this. Self dot roll number. Next and after that, print of my marks. My marks are, just I'm taking my marks are self dot, okay, marks. That's all. So this total thing itself is nothing but I'm defining a class. Observe it very, very carefully about this one, sir. Yes, what I did, sir, I define one class. Next, whatever variables we declared inside a constructor, whatever variables we declared inside a constructor, these variables are called instance variables. Are you getting that? Of course, there are three types of variables are there. As of now, I'm strict to instance variable. Next and after that, sir, here I'm accessing those instance variable by using self keyword. I'm accessing those instance variable by using self keyword. So this is the normal method. This one is nothing but constructor method. Remember, everyone can aware. Here we are using, sir, one special constructor, one special word self. We are always keep on using this. What is the meaning of that? We will discuss. Next and after that, sir, shall we use format, string format method to print self.name? Yes, sir, Pita, you are allowed to use, sir, format, string formation, also no problem at all. Okay, sir, yes, up to this any doubt? Yes, Saujanya. Can there be a class without constructor? Yes. If you are not writing any constructor, internally Python itself is going to generate a default constructor. Remember that. Okay, without, if you are not writing, default constructor by default will be generated by Python itself. Clear how to define a class? Any explanation is required? Can I use the word? It's a blueprint. It is a blueprint for our objects or not. If you want to create your own object, somewhere you have to define the required property, somewhere you have to define the required method. So where you can define is nothing but itself is in our class. Okay, well, next, sir, if self is mandatory for every function as the first argument, Raviteja, self is mandatory as the first argument only for instance methods. Remember that, because here I strict to instance method, object related methods, and object related variables. But what about remaining methods, remaining variables? Slowly I will introduce. Okay, self must be required. Yeah, the first argument for the constructor. Yeah, the first argument to the normal method also. Yes, any other doubts? Sir, just we are defining how to define a class at very top level. Okay, next, either any order for constructor and method? No. Order wise, first you can take a def, and after that you can take constructor, no problem at all. Because whenever you are creating object, at that time it is going to be executed. But whenever we are calling a method, then only it will be executed. That's why it is not a line by line execution. If you call talk method, then this one is going to be executed. If you create object, then this one will be executed. Okay, that's all. Otherwise, no problem. Any other doubts? Can you please respond? Any other doubts? Because just a few days, 2 or 3 days, but let me use gear 1 because our mind already polluted with Java whoops. Here, complete different terminology, different behaviors by default will be there. That's why make sure, sir. Okay. Now, sir, class itself is nothing but blueprint to define properties and to define methods for our objects. Okay, well completed, right? Now let me go for what is object. What is object? What is the syntax to create object and so on? We will discuss. So once a blueprint is ready, once blueprint is ready, then automatically, do you know, sir, we can able to create multiple objects for that. A physical existence. Are you getting that? A physical existence of a class. Sir, I want to create physical existence of a class is nothing but I can use the word object, sir. A physical instance, you allocated memory, you created one instance, that instance itself is nothing but object. Remember, sir, very easily I can able to map, sir. Assume that it is one building plan. Are you getting? Assume that it is one plan, building plan, sir. Sir, based on this plan, sir, in the plan you can't stay. Sir, this plan, I want to bring this plan into reality. I want some physical existence of this plan. Okay, sir, first building I will create, I will construct in the Hyderabad. Assume that first building I will construct in the Hyderabad based on this plan. Second building I want to construct in the Bangalore. Third one I want to construct somewhere. Okay, these physical things which are created based on this plan is nothing but these buildings are by default considered objects. Remember, whatever variables we declare, whatever methods we declare, all those things by default are available for our objects. Remember, everyone can aware? Clear up to this? Okay. Now, so physical existence of a class. So if you bring a class into physical existence at memory level, then automatically object will come into the picture. So an instance of a class is by default considered as object, right? Okay. Now I want to create an object for this class. Okay. What is the syntax? Anyone can you please tell, sir? What the syntax we require to use? Some reference variable. Some reference variable is equal to some reference variable is equal to yes class name like this. At very top level, just aware, sir, reference variable is equal to class name bracket open bracket close. Do you know this line, this word is the object creation? Yes, man, object got created. Next, what is this one reference variable? Assume that some x. This reference variable can be used to refer object. By using this reference variable, happily we are allowed to, sir, access properties, whatever methods this object has. By using this x, happily we are allowed to access. Just like object is nothing but a TV. Under this reference variable is nothing but something like a remote. By using remote, we can able to operate a TV. The same kind of thing by default will be there, sir, object and a reference variable. Clear? Yes. How you can able to create an object, right? Okay. So now let me take a simple example, sir. Okay, sir, for this I want to create an object. What is the way, sir? I want to create an object for this. What is the way, sir? S1 is equal to student, like this. Of course, my constructor is not going to take any argument. Only self argument is there. Default argument, sir. It is what is the self I will discuss. Don't worry, sir. Just I'm taking like this. Okay, now I created an object. Object is ready. For that object, S1 is the reference variable, right? By using S1, what activities you can ask? Can you please tell? Oi, by using S1, what things you can ask? Oi, S1, can you please tell what is the name? Are you getting? I can able to access whatever properties we have. Can I ask S1 dot roll number or not? Yes. S1 dot marks. I can able to. So whatever properties the class has, those properties by default coming to this object. Then immediately, oh object, what is your name? What is your roll number? What is your marks like? Similarly, S1 dot talk. Like I can call the methods also by using this S1. So S1 reference variable can be used to access properties and methods of an object. So once I create an object, whatever properties class has, whatever methods class has, by default available to the object. That's why on the object reference, we can allow to ask either variables or otherwise methods, no problem at all. Clear? Up to this, any explanation is required? Okay, sir, I want to call just a talk function. Remember that. Sir, talk. Sir, from this, just I'm expecting how to define a class. How to define a class. Sir, what is this one and what is this? I will explain. Don't worry. How to define a class. Next, how to create an object. And then how I'm calling a method. How I'm calling a method. That's it. Let me execute this code. Let me execute this code. Okay, test.py. Can you please observe? Hello, my name is Durga. My roll number is 101. My marks are 90. Is it clear? Oi. Conclude. Are you able to understand that? Sir, what is a class? What is object? Okay, how to create object? Next, how you can able to call object class methods. Okay, remember that. That's all, sir. What is the next cinema? What I have to discuss? 1 minute. Yeah, Saujanya, we will discuss how to declare instance variable just as of now. Remember, sir, Saujanya's doubt is how to declare instance variables. Just we are not yet at that level. Just as of now, just remember instance variables should be declared by using self keyword, either inside constructor or inside a method. Okay, remember, by using self keyword, if you are declaring any variable, that variable is by default considered as instance variable, object related variable. Saujanya, clear? Yes. Okay, next, sir, next, by using, if I use s1.name, can I able to get the values of these properties or not? Yes. Why not? Why not? Because s1 is the reference variable. You can access method, you can access data, no problem at all. Now print of s1.name. Are you getting? Print of s1.name. Next, s1 dot roll number. S1 dot roll number. Next, S1 dot marks. Okay, perfectly this one is acceptable. Perfectly it is acceptable. Are you getting? Durga 101 90, like this we can able to do that. Divya, acceptable. Clear? Sir, just a basic syntax. What is class? What is object? Sir, how to declare properties? How to declare a sample method? But here, how many types of variables are there? How to declare? What is the behavior? All those we will discuss at very top level. A class contains some variable, contains some method. Just I'm creating an object. By using that, I'm calling the method. Okay, by using that object reference, I'm accessing the data. That's it. I'm expecting from you people, right? Okay. Now let me perform. Saujanya, still are you facing any confusion? I told, please, sir, remove Java from your mind a bit aside. Because gear 1 is required. Please remove Java from your mind at least up to habitizing this terminology. Okay, del keyword better to use Java, okay, from your memory. Then you can able to understand. Sir, please, you don't know anything. Oh, these are the things like that, better to learn. Okay, don't map with Java's terminology. If you are going to map everything with Java with respect to Java, then yesterday's confusion again it is going to come in the picture. Okay, up to this is the clear? Any doubt? Sir, don't be hurry. Happily take your own time to understand the things. Clear? Any doubt? You no response. Means are you getting or complete gone? Hurry, no response, man. What happened? Are you able to understand? Okay, that's I'm going very slowly, sir. 5 kilometers per hour. Okay, remember. Now, what is the next thing I have to discuss, right? Sir, I'm always in Python. In Python, we are always going to use the word self word. Sir, it's a very common word, sir. Several times we are going to use. Just a few points. Let me talk about self. Sir, self is a default variable which is always pointing to current object. Okay, which is always pointing to current object. So here, have you observed how you can access this object? How you can able to access this object? By using S1. Regarding S1 is the reference variable. By using that, you can access. But within the class, if you want to access these object properties and so on, S1 is not available because S1 is outside of the class. S1 is outside of the class. But within this class, I want to refer current object. If you want to refer current object, then automatically self is the variable. Remember this one, sir. So self variable always pointing to current object. Whenever you ask S1.talk, hey S1, oh S1, can you please talk? Can you please talk like this? Then immediately this method is going to execute. Now, hello, my name is. How I can able to access my name? Self.name, current object.name, current object.roll number, current object.marks. Okay, on which object you call talk S1, on the same object, yes, self is always pointing to that. Self means reference variable to current object. Can I use the word? Can I use the word reference variable? Reference variable to current object. So I can I can use the word. This is something like this keyword in Java. Okay, here confusion is not there. That's why. Okay, so it's always to refer current object. Some reference variable is required. That reference variable is nothing but self. Clear? Respond. Are you able to understand, right? Next, what is the use of this self? What is the use of this self? By using this self, we can access. By using this self, we can access instance variables and instance methods. Regarding instance variables and instance methods, instance variables and instance methods are current object. Remember, sir, what is the use of self, sir? By using self, you can able to access instance variable and instance methods. Have you remember self dot name? I use it in our code. Self dot name. Hey, current object. What is your name? Okay, self dot roll number is nothing but current object. What is your roll number? Like we are going to use, sir. Remember this one. Clear? Okay, one thing. Next, one more thing, sir. Self is not the official keyword. It is not keyword. It is not keyword in Python. Instead of self, you can use X also, Y also, Z also, no problem at all. But recommended, good programming practice, universally accepted convention is the self. Okay, to refer current object. Okay, like next, do you know self should be first parameter inside constructor. Okay, remember this one, sir. Self should be first parameter. Self should be first parameter inside constructor. Inside constructor. Remember, sir. Have you remember how I define constructor? Can you please guide? I forgot the code. Can you please guide how I can define the constructor? Def. Def. I forgot how to define constructor. Constructor special method is there. How to define, sir? Underscore init underscore of self. Have you remember? So self is the first parameter. inside constructor. Okay, for the constructor. And after that, you can take any number, no problem at all, sir. Any number of argument based on our requirement, we can aware. But anyway, it should be the first parameter. Remember, very important point. Next, second one, sir. Self should be first. Self should be first parameter inside the instance methods. Inside the instance methods. Remember this one, sir. Inside the instance method. I declared one method. Can you please guide what is the method, right? I declared one method. What is the method I declared? Def talk. It is the instance method. What is the arguments are? Self. Have you remembered? So the first parameter inside constructor, the first parameter inside the instance method is always a self. So self is the default variable which is available to refer current object. Usually we are always going to use to refer current object. By using self, we can able to access instance variables and instance method, instance variables and instance methods of current object. That's all. Now, Sir Vedant Tiwari is asking, sir, how Python knows the keyword is referring to current object if it is not predefined? Yes, good. Sir, here Vedant Tiwari's doubt is, observe that. Can you please have a look once? How Python knows the keyword is referring to current object if it is not predefined? Very simple. Whatever the first argument you declared inside a constructor or inside instance method. Okay, remember, whatever first argument you declared inside the constructor or inside instance method, it is always going to treat as reference to current object. Remember, need not be self. You can use X also, you can use Y also. But how the Python can able to recognize the first variable, whatever you used inside constructor, the first parameter, whatever you used inside constructor or inside instance method, by default is considered as reference to current object. Yes, are you in a position to understand Vedant? The name is not special, the position is the special. First argument, you can use any argument, no problem. That argument is the reference to current object. That's why while calling, we are not required to pass any argument for that. Are you getting that? Here have you observed? Constructor is taking self, but I'm not passing any argument. Sir, taking some argument, taking self, but I'm not passing that because this is default implicit variable pointed to current object. It is, you are not required to pass this one. My Python internally is going to take care about that. Okay, any doubt? Yes, there are one or two doubts. So asking, it assumes that the first argument is the reference to current object. Yes, Arpita, I hope got clarified. So there must be at least one argument. Yes, obviously. For instance methods, for constructor, compulsory at least one argument should be there, sir. Without these arguments, you can't declare instance method, you can't declare constructor. By mistake, if I'm taking self, by mistake, if I remove that, can you please have a look once? By mistake, if I remove this one, what will happen? Here? It may be treated. No. It may be treated as a method. 1 minute. Because it is just a declaration only. Because I never called this one. Now let me use, because interpreted language, right? That's why S is equal to student I'm taking. Now listen a bit very carefully. Now I'm calling that. Observe immediately. Underscore in it takes a zero positional argument, but one was given, something like it's going to tell. Are you able to understand, right? That's why every constructor should compulsory contain at least one argument. That argument should be self argument. Are you getting right? Every instance method should compulsory take one argument, at least one argument. That argument should be self. Everyone can aware? So now my question is, self, the word is important or the position is important? Yes, I hope clear, but I'm repeating multiple times. Self, the word is important or the position is important? The word is not important, position is important. Whatever first argument you are taking, itself is the reference variable to current object. Remember, sir, that's all. But if I want to access an instance variable outside of the constructor or methods, wow, good. We will discuss this part anyway. Priyanka, just everyone can able to answer this one, sir. If I want to access instance variable outside of constructor or methods, I mean, you are talking about outside of class. Priyanka, are you talking outside of the class? Yes, outside of the class you are talking. Yes, if you want to access from outside of the class, already I told by using object reference. Remember, within the class self keyword, outside of the class object reference variable. Have you remembered, right? I printed something. Yes, a dot name. How I access instance variable? How I can access instance variable? By using object reference. Yes, a dot attack. How I access instance method? By using object reference. So within the class, you can use a self keyword. Outside of the class, you should use a object reference variable. By mistake, here I'm trying to use self dot name. Are you getting? By mistake, here I'm using self dot name. Then automatically, is it valid or invalid? Is it valid or invalid? Self is a keyword which is available within the class. Yeah, the argument to init, yeah, the argument to constructor, yeah, the argument to talk method. But here outside of the class, how you can use self. Can you please observe that? What will happen? What will happen? I'm calling the boss name self is not defined. Name error, name self is not defined. Clear? Self wise, self confidence, okay? Okay, that's all. Sir, only one. Okay, self should be the first argument inside constructor. Next and after that, it should be first argument inside instance method. By using self, you can able to access instance variables and instance methods within the class. Outside of the class, if you want to access instance variables and instance method, compulsory we require your object reference. That's all, sir. This is the story about self. Okay, well, what is the next cinema? We require to talk. Sir, one more special word I used. What is this special word? Let me use. Let me use that. What is that special word, sir? Constructor. I used constructor. Let me conclude some stories about this constructor. Also, let me perform postmortem about this one. Sir, can I use the word constructor? Is a special method. Correct or not? It is a special method. Regarding it's a special method. Constructor is a special method. Next, the name should be. What is the name? What is the name of the constructor? Sir, these words should inject in your mind. The name of the constructor, underscore init underscore. Are you getting? It should always, the name should be fixed, sir. So do you know? Yeah, argument maybe self, all those things are there. But the name should be underscore init underscore. Do you know the people who are coming from other languages? Okay, it is not fixed, sir. Remember, but here the name is always fixed. In Java, do you know class name same as constructor name? But here no such type of terminology. The name of the constructor, whether you are taking student class, customer class, or otherwise employee class, in any class, it is always okay underscore init underscore. Name is always fixed, sir. Remember. Next, one more thing, sir. Can I require to call constructor? Or it will be executed automatically? Can you please tell? Can I require to call or it will be executed automatically? Remember, constructor will be executed automatically whenever we are creating object. Okay, remember that constructor will be executed automatically. Whenever we are creating objects. Okay, we are not required. We are creating object. We are not required to call explicitly. Remember, sir, constructor is always going to execute automatically. We are not required to call. But when the constructor will be executed, sir, whenever we are creating object. Remember that. Next, per object, how many times constructor will be executed? Per object. Can you please tell how many times constructor will be executed per object? Only once. Remember, per object, how many times constructor by default will be executed, sir? Only once. Remember. Okay. Next, what is the purpose of this constructor? For which purpose constructor is going to be executed, sir? If you observe our previous example, what the constructor is doing? Can you please have a look what the constructor is doing? Array self.name is equal to Durga, self.roll number is equal to 101, self.marks is equal to 90. Inside constructor, we are declaring instance variables and we are performing initialization. We are declaring instance variable and we are performing initialization. That's why to declare and initialize, to declare and initialize instance variables. Sir, whatever variables are used up to this, it is by default object related variables, instance variable. Some other types of variables are there. That's what we are going to discuss. To declare and initialize instance variables of an object, constructor will be executed. That's all, sir. Almost 5 to 6 points came. Observe, it is a special method. It is a special method. The name should be always underscore underscore init underscore underscore predefined name. It should not be any other name. Next, the constructor we are not required to call. It will be executed automatically whenever we are creating object. Per object, how many times constructor will be executed, sir? Only once. Okay. Next, and after that, what is the purpose of constructor? To declare and initialize instance variables of an object. Everyone can aware? Ayo, respond, man. Everyone in a position to understand, right? Okay, that's all. This is the story about constructor. Okay, like now, just take a bit very special care. Constructor can take how many arguments? How many arguments? Constructor can take how many arguments? How many arguments, sir? Good. Constructor can take, sir, at least one argument. At least one argument. What is the meaning of at least one, sir? Either one or more. At least one argument. At least one argument. Even self. Correct or not? At least the self should be there. After that, you can take any number of arguments, no problem at all. Okay, like next, one more. Sir, is the constructor mandatory or optional? For the class, mandatory or optional? Mandatory or optional? Optional, sir. Okay, mandatory or optional? Next, the reason for that is, of course, if you are not writing any constructor, then Python will provide default constructor. Remember this one. Python will provide default constructor, no problem at all. Okay, like next, sir, still yes, still any doubts? One person asking the doubt, I hope. Saujanya doubt, I hope. Can you please, Saujanya, what is your doubt? You are asking something. Can you please copy paste again? I'm unable to see you in the chat window. Is there any copy constructor? No. Not there? Any other? That terminology not applicable. Correct. Here Priyanka is asking. Priyanka's doubt is, yes, observe. Good point. Init is the only constructor where we can define instance variables. Remember that? Of course, we will discuss in the future. But remember, we can declare instance variables, okay, in two places. One is inside, not two places, right? Okay, my intention, don't get confused. I hope you won't confuse in this small point. We can declare instance variables in general constructor. Remember, in general constructor, you can declare instance variable. Next, very rare, you can declare inside instance method also by using self keyword. Self keyword inside instance method also you can declare. Next, don't get confused. Please don't get confused. Outside of the class also we can declare instance variable. Outside of the class also, for a particular object, you can able to declare instance variable. Please don't ask how. Don't ask how, we will discuss. We are at very basics, ma'am. Okay. Just we will discuss. Definitely this point is going to be covered. Don't worry. Okay, maybe next time. Sir, up to this, any doubt about constructor? Up to this, any doubt about constructor? It is a special method. The name should be the name should be underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Next, constructor will be executed automatically whenever we are creating object. For object only once the constructor is going to execute to declare instance variables and perform initialization. It should take at least one argument even self. It is optional. If you are not writing any constructor, then compiler, Python is always going to provide default constructor. Clear? Any doubt? Constructor story got completed. No response. Can I change the gear? Initialization should be performed inside constructor only, right? No Arpita. No Arpita. It is not like that, sir, because I'm declaring, if I declare instance variable inside the instance method, then automatically that instance method will execute after constructor. There also you can able to do. In general, constructor will be to declare instance variables and to perform initialization. But very rare inside a method we can able to do that. Okay, that's all. In our example, can we delete constructor and can I execute? No chance at all. No chance, because I'm accessing this. If you remove that, then automatically these things also you can remove, then it's going to work, no problem at all. Okay, I'm removing this. I'm not defining any constructor, please observe. Next, I'm removing these things also. I'm removing these also. Okay, like, sir, just s is equal to student s dot talk. S is equal to student s dot talk. Okay, now can you please tell, is it valid or not? Is it valid or not? Yes, man. Is it valid or not? Yes, why not? Why not? So my student class having only method, no instance variable. Now observe, perfectly it's going to run, no problem at all. Okay, if you want values, you should declare variables. If you want to declare variable, you should take constructor. Okay, link. Next, some student is asking, sir, constructor is okay, destructor concept is available or not? Yes, Manisha, destructor concept is also there in the Python. We will discuss, sir. Okay, that's all, sir. This is the constructor, right? Now what I want to take, just one or two small chota example, sir, which can take multiple arguments. How you can able to do that, sir? Legend this one. I'm taking a class test. Observe that freshly. Yeah, Vedant Tiwari, garbage collector concept is also there. Okay, class test I'm taking. Next, def underscore init I'm taking, underscore init. Okay, can you please tell what is the first constructor? Respond. What is the first what is the arguments are? Compulsory I have to take self or not? Yes, just wait for a minute, self. Next, print constructor execution. Just one small conclusion I have to show. Already you people aware, practically I'm showing. Def f1 self. Sir, can you please tell print of method execution? This is. Sir, that's all. My class got completed, right? Now T1 is equal to test I'm taking. Sir, I'm creating an object. Whenever we are creating object, automatically constructor will be executed or not? Respond, man. Automatically constructor will be executed or not? Can you please tell, either method will be executed or won't be executed? Method won't be executed. So make sure, sir, only constructor will be executed. Method compulsory we have to call, then only it will be executed. If you are not calling, then the method never going to respond. But constructor is always going to respond automatically whenever we are creating object. Can you please have a look once? Constructor. I didn't call constructor, just I created object. Automatically constructor is going to execute, sir. Like, sir, multiple objects I'm going to create. T2, T3, T4, like multiple objects I'm going to create, sir. Then automatically multiple times constructor will be executed, but per object only once. Per object only once. Next, but method I'm taking T1 dot M1. Then only if you call the method, then only it will be executed. Remember that. Okay, this is one thing. So I hope you people observe constructor automatic execution whenever you are creating an object, but a method if you call, then only it will be executed. That's all. Next, a small example, constructor with the multiple arguments. I want to take, sir, with the multiple constructor with the multiple optional arguments I'm taking. Optional arguments I'm taking, sir. With the multiple optional arguments, how you can able to do that, sir? Very simple. Very simple, sir. I'm taking, sir, class student. Same student I'm taking, sir. Class student. Def underscore init underscore self comma n is equal to just empty, sir. N is equal to just empty I'm taking. Next, m is equal to 0 I'm taking. Do you know somewhere we covered this one, right? Default arguments regarding argument with the default values like that. Now self dot name is equal to n. Next, the self dot marks is equal to m. Okay, like, sir, whenever you are creating an object, you may pass or may not pass, no problem. If you are passing, it will be considered. If you are not passing, then the default values by default will be considered, sir. Okay, well, next I'm taking def display of self array. Can you please display student information, right? Sir, print, sir, hi. Okay, hi, just I'm taking hi name. Okay, hi. Next, and after that name. Sorry, how I can able to print name? Please guide, I forgot. How I can able to print name? Hi name I want to print. What is the way? Self dot name. Okay, self dot name. Next, print of marks. Okay, like self dot marks like this. Okay, sir, whatever name by using self, whatever you declare, these are things by default considered as instance variable. These are just arguments to the constructor. These are not instance variables, right? The variables which are declared by using self keyword, these variables are by default considered as, okay, instance variables, right? Okay, that's all. Now let me create an object. I want to create an object. S is equal to student. I don't want to pass any arguments, right? I don't want to pass any argument. Is it acceptable or not? Please respond. Is it acceptable or not? Divya, I'm not passing any argument. Is it acceptable or not? Yes. Why not? Acceptable. Because if you are not passing any argument, then the default value by default will be considered. What the default value? Empty. What the default value? 0. Default values will be already I defined. That's why default values will be considered. No problem at all. S1 dot display I'm calling. What is the output by default we are going to get if I call like this? Sir, hi name, nothing, empty. Next, marks 0. Is it going to respond or not? Can you please have a look once? Hi, empty. Next, and after that marks 0. Perfectly, it's going to work, sir. Okay, multiple optional arguments I'm taking. Next, the S2 is equal to student of, S2 is equal to student of, sir, here just I'm taking Sunny, comma 100 like this I'm taking. Okay, is it acceptable or not? S2 dot display I'm taking. No problem. Now do you know, sir, Sunny will become name will become Sunny, and the 100 is nothing but M. M will be assigned to the marks. That's why. So perfectly this one is valid. Yes. Have you observed, right? Second one, this is the output. Hi Sunny, marks is equal to 100. Sir, first one is nothing but hi. No name, but marks is the 0. Clear? Now my constructor can take multiple arguments or not? You respond, man. Why you are silent? Constructor can take multiple arguments or not? Yes, it can take multiple arguments. Even those arguments can be optional also. No problem at all, sir. Next, sir, with the constructor with the multiple argument, but with mandatory arguments, right? constructor with mandatory arguments. Mandatory arguments, multiple arguments you can able to take, sir. Here also positional argument rules are followed. Yes, Divya, it is also method only. Positional argument, whatever rules are there for function, here also the rules are followed. Okay, now what I'm taking, let me remove this one. I don't want this code. I don't want this. I hope up to this is the clear, right? Yes. Okay. What is the next thing I'm taking, sir? Class employee. I'm taking last example. Don't worry, sir. Just familiar with self underscore init, this type of terminology. That's all. Class employee. Def underscore init. Next and after that self I'm taking. Next employee number, employee name. Next the e-sal, e-address, like this I'm taking. Okay. Now self dot enum is equal to enum. Next and after that self dot ename is equal to ename. Self dot e-sal is equal to e-sal. Self dot e-address is equal to e-address, like this. Sir, can you please tell how many arguments are there for the constructor? 5 arguments. First argument should be default argument anyway, but we require to pass explicitly 4. Remember, we require to pass explicitly 4. This is just referring to current object. How many instance variables are there? How many instance variables are there? Yes, sir, this is. If any variable declared by using self keyword, that variable is the instance variable. Self.enum, self.ename, self.esal, self.address. Okay, like next, I'm trying to print def just display of self. I'm taking, sir, display of self. Okay, very simple. Print employee number. Can you please guide, sir? I forgot how I can able to print employee number. I want, please guide. I forgot how to print employee number. Please respond. Self dot enum, self dot employee name. I'm taking self dot ename, employee salary, self dot esal. I'm taking self dot esal. I'm taking last one's employee address. Are you getting employee address? EADDR. That's all. Sir, this is about my 2 methods are there. Sir, can you please guide? This class contain how many methods? How many methods? 2 methods. This class contain 2 methods. One is constructor method. Second one is normal display method. Next, how many instance variables are there? How many instance variables are there for this class? 4 instance variable. Which 4? Enum, ename, esal, and e-address. Okay, like sir, do you know these names? Whatever the names I used, these names must be same or any name I can take. Must be same or any name I can take. Yes. Any name you parts are there, need not be, no, any name you can take. These names, any name you can take. X, Y, Z, L. Here X, Y, Z, L you can use. Any name, need not be same. Okay, but it's a good programming practice. Sir, we are using the same thing so that it will become easy. Okay, clear up to this? Now I want to create first employee object. E1 is equal to employee. E1 is equal to employee of, okay, Durga. I'm taking employee number. I require employee number 100. Employee name, just Durga. I'm taking employee salary 1000. Next, and after that employee address is the Hyderabad. E1 dot display. E1 dot display. That's all. So display is going to take only one argument. We are not required to pass because it is the implicit like this, right? So now perfectly it's going to work, no problem at all. Correct? Are you able to understand, right? Okay. Next, and after that, sir, if you want, you can take one more. Sir, just familiar with this Python object related coding. Beyond that, nothing, sir. I'm repeating again and again. Just you have to habitize. Okay. Here I'm taking some sunny 2000. Next, and after that Mumbai something like I'm taking, sir. Mumbai like E2 dot display. Observe that, sir, perfectly it is the value. First time is nothing but this is the information. Second time itself is nothing but like this. Sir, any explanation is required up to this? Please respond. Any doubt? because I explained 3 examples with respect to the constructor, with respect to the self keyword, how to define a class, how to create an object, how to define a class, how to create an object, how you can play the games with the self keyword and constructor. Next, all the things are very clear. Guru Prasad, Mumbai and Hyderabad IPL match today. Just concentrate on this. Oops. You can there. Completed, right? Okay. Up to this. Next, even default constructor example also I provided. Default constructor example also I provided, man. Have you remembered? Okay. Like now, can I go to the next one? Can I go for the next one? Oh, okay. Sir, up to this, just feel comfortable. Next, immediately, my next thing is, sir, tomorrow I will discuss about what is the difference between constructor and method. Almost 4 or 5 differences I listed. Those things I will discuss. And after completing that, we have to talk about types of variables. Wow, beautiful concept is there. Yesterday I tried to use Java related terminology directly.